All right, y'all, we are back with another video. I definitely had to bring y'all this. Now, before we start, I know a lot of people like to, click on the video. They be like, hey, Adogg, why is you promoting them? I'm not promoting anything about The View. When I put them on display, it's for me to expose them. I'm not promoting them whatsoever. I am exposing them for the lies that they putting on Donald Trump. Because, see, Donald Trump is not going to respond to their nonsense. So guess what? I'm going to respond to him, and I'm going to put the truth out there that I know that Donald Trump will say if he wanted to respond. But Donald Trump ain't got time to respond to these idiots. They are just crazy. They say anything because they don't like Donald Trump. And think about it. These the same women who love Donald Trump. They absolutely loved him before he started running for president. And since Whoopi been fired, she turned on him. She can't even say the man's name on the show. This right here is just crazy to me. But I definitely had to bring y'all this because Sunny Hostin, she pretty much just got herself sued again. I mean, what she just said about Donald Trump supporters wanted to take out Mike Pence. I mean, she just saying all type of crazy stuff, and you're going to see Whoopi going to try to hurry up and cover for her. This is the reason why they keep getting sued. This is the reason why. So like I said, y'all please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. Y'all definitely helps me get the video out when y'all watch the entire video. I really, really appreciate it. So without further ado, and let me know in the comment section that you did stay to the end. I will make it worth y'all while. I promise you that. So without further ado, y'all, let's go.
After midnight, Special Counsel Jack Smith released a sprawling 137-page report detailing why he had enough evidence to convict the guy who's about to return to the White House. Now, this is an investigation that began 2.5 years ago, and you know who still denies all of it. But was anybody surprised by what they saw? Did you read it? What did it say? Anything new?
Yeah. Well, I'm a legal nerd. I read it. It's almost 150 pages. Yeah. I think what was striking to me, Whoopi, is that, most of us, or we all should have, watched the January 6th committee hearings. And there were so many bombshells. I mean, people were testifying. You've testified in front of the committee. They have been conducting their own investigation, almost in tandem, and they found more things. And so they not only found different things, they found the same things. And so the investigation supported each other. And that was very unusual to me, that there was that much evidence. What was also very unusual to me is something that I think we often forget. He tried so many ways to subvert the election. He, of course, tried to pressure Mike Pence, and then his followers tried to kill him.
Wow. Donald Trump pressured Mike Pence, and Donald Trump followers tried to take out Mike Pence. Like, this is the crap that this woman be saying. Like, a lot of times they be knowing it's not true, but they just say it just to be saying it. Just because it makes Donald Trump look bad. That's the reason why they say stuff like that. I'm just so sick of these women. I can't see how they even still is on air. I really can't see it. Like, I mean, Sunny Hostin, she say some of the most dumbest stuff. Her, Joy Behar, and Whoopi. Now, y'all gonna see Whoopi gonna try to cover for it and try to say, oh, threaten. Oh, they threaten. But Sunny Hostin didn't say threaten. She said that's what they tried to do. I mean, this is just crazy. Listen to this crap again.
Conducting their own investigation, almost in tandem, and they found more things. And so they not only found different things, they found the same things. And so the investigation supported each other. And that was very unusual to me, that there was that much evidence. What was also very unusual to me is something that I think we often forget. He tried so many ways to subvert the election. He, of course, tried to pressure Mike Pence, and then his followers tried to kill him. He also called Georgia's, threatened to kill him. He also, thank you, he also called Georgia's state attorney, Secretary of State, and said, I need 11,000, like the exact margin, I need 11,780 votes. Like,
ain't it funny that this woman right here that we looking at right now, Sunny Hostin, is sitting here running her mouth about Donald Trump when her husband just got indicted for insurance fraud. How did that sound? She's sitting here running her mouth about Donald Trump by January 6th. They can't leave January 6th alone. This is all they talk about is January 6th. Now you want to say that Donald Trump supporters wanted to take out Mike Pence, and then Whoopi come in and say, oh, they try to threaten, trying to help her out. She's sitting here running her mouth, but her own husband could possibly be a convicted felon, but she talking about how did we let a convicted felon back to the White House? So, Sonny, how is it going to feel to be living with a convicted felon? How is it going to be feeling to have a husband as a convicted felon? Your husband just went down for insurance fraud. and you sit here running your mouth about Donald Trump. You need to be worried about what your husband got going on. And the reason why he's getting sued for $450 million. This is crazy.
What much more clear evidence would you need of someone trying to effectively subvert an election? And the final thing I'll say is, in his speech that he gave, in all his discussions at the Capitol before the attack, he mentioned the word fight 10 times. 10 times. And so to say that he isn't directly responsible for what happened January 6th is a stretch.
But nothing is going to happen to him. That's the only thing.
No.
It feels like nothing is going to happen to the guy. So let's just say adios to democracy, and let us say adios to the idea that no one is above the law. Apparently he is.
Yeah.
And that's what they voted for in this country.
Well, there was kind of a debate among legal experts.
Can I just one more thing? I want to give props to Vice President Pence. I don't know if people realize what a heroic thing he did. And his wife, who snubbed Trump at
Carter's funeral.
At Carter's funeral.
Nobody cares about somebody's wife snubbing Trump. You act like Donald Trump is crying because somebody didn't shake his hand. Who cares? Nobody care about somebody that don't like him. Donald Trump and Melania went in there knowing that almost everybody in there don't like him. They know that. So why Donald Trump ain't gonna feel bad because Mike Pence's wife didn't want to shake his hand? Who cares? You talking about Donald Trump thinking he's above law. What about what Joe Biden just did for his son? Look what Joe Biden just did for his son, but y'all don't want to talk about that. Y'all don't want to talk about Hunter Biden and how Joe Biden just swiped his whole slate clean, got rid of all his charges, the laptop, what about the pot that was found at the White House, the women, the gun charges? What about that? I mean, it seemed like Hunter Biden was the only one that was above the law. Y'all don't want to talk about that. Y'all leave all of that out and just constantly attack Trump. This is crazy. Nobody cares because she didn't want to shake his hand. Who cares?
Funeral. The two of them are standing tall, in my opinion, and I like that about them. I have to give it to them.
There was a debate among legal experts if a case of this size and magnitude could even be tried and concluded in the span of 3.5 years. And I'm not an expert. I didn't know if it would be the case, but
it could have been done.
At this point, we know 250 plus witnesses were interviewed. 55 people testified to the grand jury. There were thousands and thousands of documents they went through. And at the end of the day, 18 million people tuned into the January 6th committee hearings. We know I can't even speak for how many people saw the footage of January 6th. Yet voters made up their minds. 75 million people still chose to vote for Donald Trump, which makes me think they decided he was better for the country despite these things. I am not convinced that most Americans were comfortable with the events of January 6th, even who went on to support Donald Trump. And I think what we may miss about the election is that a lot of people don't like Trump. They thought he was a better leader, and they're aware of his flaws. And I think Democrats focus too much on defining him and reminding people of the bad things, and they should have spent more time saying, this is what we're for, this is what we're going to do. That's what I keep coming back to, rather than Kamala Harris giving the speech on the ellipse to remind people of January 6th. Go to Michigan Union Hall, talk to people about it.
Now, y'all see how Alyssa is trying to say, okay, this is what y'all been doing. Y'all been talking about how bad Donald Trump is, and instead of y'all just going to, as Democrats should have been talking about what they was going to do to help the American people, but they spent their entire campaign talking about how bad Donald Trump is. And then you see when Alyssa get to talking like that, y'all see what they do? Joe Behar try to cut her off. They don't want to hear that. They don't want to hear anything positive. They don't want to hear any truths. They just want to hear nothing but negative about Donald Trump. I guarantee you, if Alyssa was still talking negative about Trump, they would have never cut her off. They would have just let her just go ahead and talk. But look at Joe Behar trying to cut her off. They don't want to hear that because that's the truth. That's what y'all did. Y'all kept talking bad about Donald Trump instead of talking to the American people about what can y'all do to help us. But it was just Donald Trump Hitler. He got a Nazi rally. He's this. He's that. They always leaving out that he said march peacefully and patriotically, but they don't never talk about that. They just still running with this same lie. The reason why they lost now.
Democracy is I think, trying to destroy our very republic is pretty important. And I'll say this, you said no one's above the law. Yeah. I disagree with this Department of Justice policy because it is not the law that you cannot, indict a sitting president. That is not the law. It is just a long-standing DOJ policy. Mm-hmm. And I think had the Supreme Court that has been packed by Donald J. Trump been a different composed differently, I do think that this case would have gone to trial.
But Jack Smith, he did indict Donald Trump when he was a candidate.
did.
The reason he folded the investigation is because
Because
Donald
of the
Trump
DOJ policy.
Well, no, it's because he oversees the Department of Justice in, 6 days. He knew that the trial would be stopped.
But can we
Jack
call-
Smith would be fired. It wasn't that he wasn't willing to move forward.
But that's not what he said. He
Sonny.
said that he did. One second,
Go
I just
ahead.
want to answer that. What he did say is it is a long-standing DOJ policy, and that is why I have to drop the case.
But
That is
can we
what he
now
said.
call him a convicted felon? Is that okay? Or am I going to be sued?
You can call him a
New York.
35. You can call him a 34 count
Right? But
convicted
it's
felon.
very striking that
That's
when
what
he
you
talks about immigrants who break the law and he's going to send them back and he's against these people,
Yeah.
he broke the law.
Yes,
I mean, the
he
whole
did.
thing, it doesn't make
And he
any
was
sense
convicted of
anymore.
it.
I mean, I feel like we're in a lot of trouble now.
One thing that I read, and I don't know, you guys can check me in my ear, is that as a convicted felon, he cannot he cannot have a weapon, yet he can be the commander-in-chief of our military. I just...
Here she go again with this convicted felon talk, but yet her husband just got indicted on insurance fraud. Look like he might be a convicted felon. See, this is what I'm talking about right here. She's sitting on here like everything is just all good. And she could be going down with her husband with this insurance fraud because she could have some type of play in this. So that's what she need to be worried about, what her husband just got indicted for that $450 million he getting sued. That's what she need to be worried about. She's still calling Donald Trump a convicted felon when she finna be living with one.
I just find the hypocrisy.
Well, I
stunning.
mean, if look, it is what it is right now. They took the time they needed, and they took 3 years to do it to make sure they had what they needed. What I don't see is that he cannot be tried again.
Well, there is double jeopardy, and they did dismiss the case, and so I think it would be very unlikely that he would be tried
didn't
again.
they dismiss it
Without prejudice?
without prejudice?
I'm not sure. Can somebody tell me in my
Somebody
ear?
can check that.
He also will
In
be
any
82 when he leaves office. I think that there is a day in the future where we won't talk about Donald Trump every single day,
Yeah,
and
tomorrow. I
he
have
can go off
nothing
into
to
the
say.
sunset.
I'm not
Go back to our lives.
But you know,
I'm sorry, age doesn't protect you from the law.
No, but do you think it'd be good for the country if after he leaves office after 4 years?
You know what?
Now we do a 4-year
You
trial.
know why?
I would like
you
to
know
see
why
it.
I think it would not be a bad idea is because a lot of young people have no idea how the law is supposed to work.
That's right.
And I think it's important, just like when they say, you know, and I don't want to make this comparison because I don't want to be accused of calling him this, but there are things where, you know, we say statute of limitations should not sit here. We should not have a statute of limitations. When somebody breaks the law like this, there should not be a statute of
by the way,
limitations.
Okay, so if you're talking about breaking the law, what about Joe Biden's son, Hunter Biden, breaking the law then, Whoopi? See, that's the thing. Y'all will not speak on Hunter Biden. What about what he did to break the law? But y'all look over there and just constantly attack Donald Trump every single day. What about Hunter Biden's laptop? What about that pot found at the White House? What about all the women's and stuff that he was seen in photos with? What about the gun charges? What about Joe Biden just wiping all of that clean? I'm pretty sure Hunter Biden broke the law. Joe Biden broke the law too, because he knew if he didn't clean his son's slate, he was going to go down too, because that's why he cleaned his slate, so he don't get accused of nothing. See, that's the thing. They keep it one-sided. They have no credibility on this show. You want to keep talking about Trump every single day, how he's a convicted felon doing this, convicted felon doing this. But look what Hunter Biden just got off from. That's what I'm talking about right here, man. The double standard.
You are right. They
Like-
dismissed it without prejudice,
yes.
which means they can bring it again.
So, you know,
I'm over it.
you may be over it, but you know
I'm
what?
just over
It's-
Trump consuming all of our lives constantly. We're gonna have 4 years ahead.
Unfortunately, this is what drives people. This is what drives people on television. This is what drives people on the internet. When you see his name, people go directly to him because he has become an addiction.
Yeah, some people are addicted to
He
it.
is
Yeah,
an
because
addiction.
y'all
It's like
can't
stopping
stop
to watch
talking
a
about
traffic
it.
But it's also
honest-
history. This isn't. But it's also history. What you
report
testified.
stands. That'll be in the history
It's in the
books.
history
The
books. You
events of January 6th will be.
testified. All of that is going to
He
be
doesn't
in the halls of Congress, in the congressional record. I'm
that
sorry.
matters for
I'm
the
never going to
history
get tired of it. I'd like to see in the congressional record that there was a sitting
it's in the-
president
it
that
is
was
in the
indicted.
congressional record from the January 6th
and
hearings.
also.
What, Sonny, what about your husband? I'm going to keep bringing this up all through the video. I don't care how many times I say it. You keep, see, this is the thing. This woman, she want to see Donald Trump in prison so bad. That's all. Oh, I want to see her sitting president in jail. I want to see this. What about your husband, Sonny? What about him being indicted? What about him y'all being sued for $450 million because of insurance fraud, doing surgery on people who don't got any insurance or anything, and then he turned around and started suing the companies? What about that? See, you don't want to talk about that. Whoopi them don't want to talk about that. Y'all just want to keep talking about Trump. Every chance I get, I'm going to pause this video and come back to saying, Sonny, what about your husband being indicted? What about that? Boy, I'm telling you, they better not never let me get on their show. I'm going to spill all of it. I ain't going to hold back.
Convicted.
But Lord help me if in 6 years we're in the middle of a Trump trial. I want to move on with our lives.
Listen, I'm going to leave this alone because it's too ripe for somebody to say something that they should not say.
Okay.
So I'm going to say we're going to be right back with more.
Well, there we go right there, y'all. We'll go ahead and stop it right there. It's just funny to me how Sonny, she's the main one of this whole video, just running her mouth. I want to see him in jail. I want to see this. And she could be going down with her husband because I'm pretty sure the son of Hostin got some type of play into where her husband was doing, the reason why they got that 10-bedroom house, got that big old mansion with them 10 bedrooms, 10 bathrooms. Oh, now we see how y'all been getting all that money. Now we see. That's why they being sued. That's why her husband is being indicted. And she want to sit up here and keep talking about Donald Trump. Boy. But I will keep y'all up to date as more information come out. That's the reason why I said plenty of times when I react to The View, I don't like when people always put in the comment section, you're promoting them. No, I'm not. I'm not promoting them, not one bit. Promoting them will be me getting on here agreeing with everything they saying. No, I want them to keep saying what they saying so I can debunk all of it. That's what I want to do. So it ain't no me promoting them. I ain't promoting nothing from The View. I love exposing them from the liars they are and calling them out on all their BS is what I like to do. So, like I said, y'all let me know what y'all think about this in the comment section. Thank you all for watching, and I'll catch y'all in the next one.